Why most businesses are failing? They value the money, instead of the mastery. They also ignore consumer psychology.
Hello, dear viewer. It's another bright day. Welcome again to Dhof Business Podcast, where it's here we tell some stories, more so business entrepreneurship stories. And today, once again, we are lucky to have Mr. Mohamed. We shall be discussing something about failure and success in business. As we all understand that these are two segments that go hand in hand, and for every entrepreneur, it's advisable that you have to understand all these skills in business. And Mr. Mohamed, welcome again to the podcast.
Thank you, dear Rajab. I'm back again for our viewers. We're here to discuss about business, and business is our business.
Okay. What do you mean when you say that business is our business?
It's because it's running in our blood. We do daily basis, and we're here to do it until the day we face our God. So it's our business. That means we live, we breathe, and we love business.
Okay. So you want to mean that business has no age limit. A person can start a business at any age he or she desires to start.
Yes, any age. In fact, the founder of KFC, he started at the age of 60 years after taking his retirement, and the rest is history. Today, we enjoy eating from KFC. It has that story of someone who's old, who no one was giving him a chance, but after God showed him the door. God showed him his mercy, and he was able to die as a multi-millionaire.
Okay.
So it's possible.
Talking about the founder of KFC, I think he is Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
That is the correct name, yeah?
Yes, Kentucky. Yeah.
I'm told that he tried several times before coming out to be the founder of KFC.
Yeah.
Does this mean that most people fail in businesses and they lose hope in business? What are some of the reasons behind failure of most businesses?
I think most businesses, people first when they're starting, they start with the issue of having that passion. They think that when you have passion, that's everything. It's a ticket to heaven, but it's not. Mm-hmm. Having a passion is one thing, but in business, you should have more than passion, which is you should have the right strategies, you should have the right discipline for you to achieve everything. So for this business game, for you to win, mere having of passion is not the way to go. For me, as a seasoned entrepreneur, I run several schools. And I think when I was starting my schools, I had that passion. But later, after focusing and seeing things, I was missing a lot. My cost of startup was a bit different. And then I was wrongly acquiring staffs which were leaving me at a higher rate. And then after realizing that I'm missing the missing link, which is now the discipline, the strategies, and the execution, I was able to correct myself and able to put the business in order. Today, after 8 years, we're really doing Alhamdulillah, and we are growing well.
Okay. So you mean that most entrepreneurs try to set up a business, but they don't focus on something that might build their business some years to come. Do you mean that there is something that which entrepreneurs, when they focus on it, they'll become successful? Or what is the biggest mistake that these entrepreneurs do?
Why most businesses are failing? One is they value the money, instead of the mastery. One. Second thing, they also ignore consumer psychology, which is another thing we're going to discuss deeply. And lately, they don't adapt or evolve as situations and businesses change. So those are the three things that make these businesses fail. Yeah.
Okay. You have said, you have listed down these three mistakes that most entrepreneurs make in their daily routine.
Yes.
Or in their business daily. Can we have a chance to break all these three majorly?
Okay. First, we said they value the bag or the money instead of the mastery. I think most businesses and young entrepreneurs who are starting or who want quick money, they want to cut corners. In business, that is a rule that leads you to a failure. You don't cut your corners. You have to focus this business to succeed, yes. Mostly when you focus on money, the tendency of going short-changing others is high. Your ethical is going to go down. Why? It's because you just want the money. You don't want that extra relationship with the consumers, having to improve your business in terms of operational, in terms of everything, in terms of deliverability. That will lead now to failure. Instead, most businesses, they must focus on massive value. For example, for us, when I was starting as a young man 8 years ago, part of our schools, I had that ambition. First, we had the issue of now, I was focusing on how to do this, how to do that. But as a young man, later I realized that that's not the issue. The issue is, after fixing my situation, I really focused on massive value. From there, I think once I focused on the massive value of my business, things went on well. Parents were easy to trust us. And from there, it was history. We grew very well. I think that is one. For most entrepreneurs, let us avoid going for the short route instead of focusing the mastery and the long term. That will put your business before profit. You don't focus profit. Profit will come for you. And they say when you focus on value, money comes in. But when you focus on other things, I think money won't come. For example, you're starting a YouTube channel, you're starting a small business, you want immediately profits or other things, you start doing all odds. Then later you fail. Instead of you saying, let's take this thing 2 to 3 years, let me put everything plus the execution plus everything, I think that business will reach far. Second thing or mistakes for most entrepreneurs are doing is ignoring the consumer psychology. Dear viewers, we all know that consumers or people who buy things, they don't buy products. They will not only buy products. People buy first from people they trust. One. Second, people are not buying products. What they are buying is transformations and what the product will do to them. And that to say, in a simple terms, they are buying emotions. Most people buy emotions. Why? For example, I do have an iPhone here, which is just a simple example I have here with me. When I'm taking this phone in a setup of our friends, we are taking selfies. If I take out from my pocket and I start taking selfies, and then if my friends or other people around me have Techno or other brands, I think my iPhone will look superior. Yes, it's not the superior. It is the company that put that story to people, that they first sell the exclusivity and the status. Someone to own an iPhone is a status. You feel you have a class. When you take it that one, it's not something that to be copied. Not like a Techno or Infinix. Yes, that's an example. We all know that. A simple example, all consumers who are watching all over the world is they know a company called Coca-Cola. Do you know that what Coca-Cola sells is not the physical product? They sell as nostalgia, when we were young, how we used to drink. They also sell as the happiness. Here in African context, no one takes the soda unnecessarily. We take it in a special occasion. Happy birthdays, when we are getting married, anything up to do with happiness, I think people associate with Coca-Cola. Why? So that this point I'm going to reinforce you that people don't buy products, they buy stories, they buy the emotional part. I think Nike, for those of us who are for Kenyan context, most of our athletes are runners. Whenever you see Nike, you see someone who's self-achieved, you see another, something, it sells something for a person to be independent, to earn something, to achieve his own goals. Those are the examples I can say. So most people ignore consumer. They think that they have a product, they run to the market, they start failing immediately. So have that brand. That you should understand what the consumers want, and one is you position in a good way. You sell a stories. That emotional attachment one is there. I think you'll enjoy and run to the bank. You'll harvest well. You will harvest from your business in a good way. And thirdly, I think is resisting to change. Most businesses, in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, chances are high your business will be facing a challenge. For us here in the educational sector, we are facing a challenge here in Kenya. Why? Because the system is changing. And then globally, the whole system is changing. With the introduction of AI, I think our businesses in the next 10, 20 years, they will also have a big say. Because what we used to sell was information. Now the same information is available in ChatGPT at a quicker rate, in fact, at an advanced rate. I'm even worried not ours we are offering basic educations, which are necessary for any human being to come. And I think it will be hard the what you call the basic education to change immediately because children will need to grow mentally and to study. But the biggest impact educational system will have on the university, goers, the colleges, because someone will see what's the need of going to study something. For example, I do use intensively the paid version of ChatGPT. It really helps us. First, it helps us in our content creation. It gives us ideas. It gives us a lot. And I could say that the introduction of AI, I was the first pioneer people to adapt. Immediately when I saw it, I was there because I like taking life easy. You don't have to take the hard way. Now, even whenever I have a medical reports, anything, I know this is a personal, I think, I read through using ChatGPTs. They give me accurate reports, what I miss. And I'm not a doctor, but by taking my picture and summarizing the reports through ChatGPT, the bed versions and any other thing, I'm able to get the diagnosis. What is, at least you understand your report. No longer you used to go take the same report from a scan or something, you go to the doctor, you pay twice now, you use your friend in your pocket. Now that is the basic knowledge. And we know that medical schools were bloody expensive. To learn that knowledge takes 8 to 10 years, master years. But now with just few seconds, we're able to acquire a doctor's level through there. I think with the introduction of AI, a lot has changed. Businesses are changing, how we used to source, how we used to market. So adaptability will be a key. If you're not adapting, you're dying. You must evolve with time. I think those are the three things that leads most businesses, 90% failures, and there are many others, but those are the bold ones that I can say they are really leading many businesses to go out of business.
Okay, and let's try. I want to understand. Can you categorize this situation whereby I think you have also noticed that there are some businesses in the country. Let's take for example our country, Kenya. It has been operating for 20 years, 30 years, but for the past few years or recent times, most companies have stopped their operations in their country, and they have said that the economic situation in the country does not favor us to continue operating. So we have to close down and move to the neighboring countries or close down permanently. It has affected most people, by the way.
For example, which companies can you remind?
There are so many companies.
Okay.
Let's say, there are many companies. Just avoiding mentioning them.
Yeah.
Can you say that that is an example of failure or?
Okay, there is the example of a failure of corporates or the corporates withdrawing from a situation. You know, in business, sometimes withdrawing is also a strategy because you change markets, yes? Then I think they're applying the adaptation, which is evolving. Sometimes if you are scaling fast, either you stop it, that's not a failure, you stop the hemorrhage. You don't fuse a lot of blood in your body, you have to stop it, yes?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to lose everything. Sometimes we are running several branches. If I see one is not doing well, then I either rearrange or do some arrangement, because now it's like having a rotten finger here, maybe, for example. If you leave it, it's going to change the whole body. If you leave it, this finger, it goes to your body, it will decay. So to avoid those hemorrhages, I think some businesses are withdrawing tactically. I could say maybe it could be tactically, or the markets have changed, or they are seeing a better opportunities in emerging markets. Sometimes big corporations come and they leave, or the tax punitive of the country may be huge. So a lot of factors could mean something. Most businesses also affected by external factors, the tax, the environment, the political stability, all also those things we are missing. But here today we were focusing on the micro things, the personality and the small business. But there are things that disturb the business. But we have to be ready for changes. Any entrepreneur must be ready for all those other factors under which you will be getting your profit from. The tax is following up with you. The economy is here. Sometimes the political stability, the macroeconomics of the world also affects a lot. After Corona, we are seeing a lot of business collapsing, a lot of things going on in there. But they say after every boom, there must be a bust.
Yeah.
For any person who knows, for the last 6,000 years, they say, and I get from this, from my gym, I get from this, my mentor, Jim Ron, the last 6 years, the sun used to come out in the morning and then it sets in the evening. Is there any time it changed?
It has never.
Never. So seasons, life has also have seasons. We have winter, we have summer, we have anything. So we also have summer, winter, and
There is autumn.
The autumn and the spring.
Spring, yeah.
Spring is the best time to prepare yourself. In African context, mostly we are thankful to God that we have throughout the year, we have our sun, yes?
Yeah.
But in that analogy, you have your best days, you take advantage of. And sometimes for us, our winter came during the corona for school businesses. Really, school businesses, the eateries, the hospitality industry, most businesses were being swept under. Others who were just waiting, just a little thing. They were staying they were catching on a straw. Yeah. Just a small wind took them away from out of business. Many hotels closed here in the coast. Why? It's because first they were there just staying with a leg. Now then something emergency comes up. Yes, that's part of life. And then there is a way God also cleans the system. Maybe others will fall down and others will come.
Will rise
up. It will be the person who's watching here. If others are falling down, that they should not scare you. Best business in the world was started during the crisis time, during the crisis moment. Big businesses, big corporations in the 19th centuries. Now they are multi-billionaire businesses. Sometimes when there's that hardship and business and an opportunity is there when there is a problem. So always whenever you see hardship, don't complain. Don't say, oh, the economy is bad. This thing is, no, change your personality, work hard on yourself. Once you have that, I always say the 80-20 rule of the mindset. Yes, you already learned. 80% is a mindset. That belief you have for entrepreneurship, for passing. When I was starting the school business, people were saying it was saturated. The market doesn't need a school. But here we are going to our 8th branch. After God, it's first God who has blessed us. Second, after God is the vision I had, the passion I have, the mentality, the mental work I was undergoing, and believing that this is just it. I could go up to 12, 15, 20, 36 to 10,000 students. That was my vision, and still it is. So everything is 80%, and success is not true. It's not tied to the economy. It's not tied to the weather. It's not tied to other things. It's tied to you. 80% is your mindset. Okay. That mindset is now what you call the radar system in what you play. It's with the philosophy, whatever you believe out of business. So I think once we improve our belief, nothing will stop us.
Okay, and apart from personality and mindset, you have talked about, let's say, like using ChatGPT. Do you want to make me believe that also customers can result or can contribute to the failure of a business? Because let's say you are sick, and you have told me that instead of you going to the hospital, you just log into your ChatGPT, key in the signs and symptoms, it gives you the medication required,
and then you go
and go to the instead of going to the hospital, you go to the chemist. Do you believe that you will contribute to the failure of hospital somewhere? And let's say like we end up saying that doctor closed his business because of... do you believe?
Yeah, that's a hypothetical question. We are not there yet, but we are heading there.
Okay.
But you took the question out of proportion. I know it's a conversation. It's true, yes. You have to think what the customer will be saying.
Yes.
ChatGPT is there. Maybe when I see I'm using to read my report is to get the preliminary results. The preliminary results, I understand what the scope, so that a doctor cannot scare me off.
Yes.
Well, now, most of the time I deploy any AI I think I have, I deploy it, I use it. It helps me in terms of speech writing. Now I have a person who's there working me 24 hours without complaining, because I pay a subscription is $20 a month. I really enjoy. We are getting content there fast. We're also gaining a lot. We are using it to read our reports in terms of data and Excel sheets. I run it and then ask the right question. It just sucks me the real data I want. I'm not now a statistician first. Neither I've studied Pythons or those deep data analysis things. But the basic data I need, it gives me. I think from that, getting that data immediately, and now once you have a data, you can now make alternatives and decisions. Once you have this alternative A, B, C, D, based on this data, you make the informed decision. So I think I will not advise people. They have to go and seek medical doctors. maybe we will reach one day in the next 10 years from this podcast. Maybe if someone is watching 10 years from now, it can be a reality.
Okay, it can be a reality, true. Okay, and we have talked about failure in our first segment. Let's now focus on success. For those failing businesses, how can you advise them to separate themselves from failing businesses to come and be part of the winning businesses?
I think for them to win, first they must master the psychology of buying. You know, we said people buy from people and they don't buy products, as we said. So first have your story, build a brand. Once you build a brand with stories, with everything, you're able to connect to the customer's heart. Once you have their heart and they buy your story, chances are high they will come to your business and they buy from you. Not because you have a good product, but because they either know you. That's why most people go, people they know, product they know. Why? Because they have that relationship. They don't want to start something new. You have seen, yes?
Yeah.
Whenever you're going to the supermarket, you may buy things the same trays of eggs you may buy. Because last time you bought it, you ate, there's that connection, yes?
Yeah.
And then maybe if it's written, most of the byproducts of eggs, they'll say it's organic, it was harvested in a good way. The chicken, is it chickens? Yes.
The chicken. Yeah.
The chicks or the hens were having freedom along the farm. They were not being crumpled in a cage. Eggs that are put in a cage, those stories people won't buy because you're humiliating the animal. Yes, but once you say it's a free range chickens, they were there spreading all over. We collect our eggs. How do you feel when you're eating that? You're encouraging the farmer to continue keeping. Now you believe that animal rights, yes. But if someone cages a hens in a locked, millions of hens, and then they're laying, they are being kept there, the hormones are changing, they have a stress, they have a lot of things. What about the eggs? They will carry the same things that they are lacking, yes. But a hen that is enjoying, it will lay in its best position. If that egg is expensive, will you not buy? Yes.
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
Because it has a story. Now already creating something in front of you. You understand?
Yeah.
You'll buy an egg which has not a story and one which has a story. Which one will you buy? The one with a story. If you care, animal rights, yes.
Yeah.
What if I told you this? I've farmed my farm. You don't care where it is. It doesn't have a name. But this one, it's senior, for example. Their product maybe. The hens are laid in a good way. The farmers are taking care. And they're eating. They're drinking plenty of fresh water. They're enjoying in the field, eating anything. And then they also help the environment. Yes. When these hens are eating from the environment, they're also helping the soil. A lot of things. Whenever you step something, you understand?
Yeah.
God has made we interdepend each other. Yes.
Yes.
Another things, carcass is someone's food. You understand?
Yeah, understand it.
If we don't have hands, maybe there's a lot of worms that's going to eat the grass. So we want to go deep, but the story is the issue. You understand?
Yeah.
That's one. Second thing is building a personal brand that people trust. For example, people nowadays know personal brand as now the individual. For our case, I'm building a personal brand. Starting this channel, I do have another channel in which we speak to different audiences. Why? Once people trust you, they will trust your companies. I know now. If tomorrow I'll be looking for investors to expand our businesses, our media business here is a young business which we started the other day. Inshallah, we hope in 5-6 years we are one of the leading media houses that touches entrepreneurial mindsets, train students, train upcoming entrepreneurs, train existing businesses to transform their their workforce. I think in the next 10 years, 8 years, we want to lead. But if I build a personal brand, people trust me, they connect me through this podcast, I may get there. At the end of some time, even I give it time also. We may get the right people, we work together, we grow together. That is the essence of personal brand. That's an example that's relating to us, it's relating to me. I think building personal brand, when people trust you, they trust your company, now they will buy from what they know. Okay. So lastly, I think the last thing is creating a business system. For a business to win the 10%, is you should work on the business, not in the business. You should delegate work. If you have the right work, you should not be having yourself dealing everything as a director or as the owner of the company. You must work on the business, not in the business. If you delegated work to others and then you are the one doing, now you're also creating yourself a job within the company. Instead, you should delegate that job to people who have hired. They should take the responsibility. They should take the blame. You expect from them results.
Okay, and let's talk about buying, the master of psychology in buying. Have you ever had a chance of associating yourself with Mercedes-Benz, for example, the current Mercedes-Benz and the old Mercedes-Benz? Which one, if you are given the chance to select one, which one will you choose?
Okay, it depends. Although I have to declare here, I'm not a fan of Mercedes.
Okay,
but
okay.
Mercedes
Which is your favorite? Which is
but
your
I
favorite?
think for me, if I will be given the old one, I'll take it. Why?
The old one.
It's because it was durable. I've seen some documentaries on the TV that the people who are almost hitting more than 1 million miles. Miles means thousands of kilometers, millions of kilometers. And someone I saw in Beirut, in Lebanon, an old man having that 1960. The leather is the same, the things are the same. The car is almost new. And he's having all those years as a taxi worker. He has went across any place. He has abused the car, but it's still standing. I think Mercedes-Benz is a brand people recognize, and I think they say the old fashions were much better, those who know history, because they were made in those contexts. Life was tough then. Then they were made to stand. But nowadays, most companies are now doing business, what you call, because of now, as human beings, we have evolved, we have relaxed. It's like now, we change like phones. You see, every 6 months, a new phone, or a year, a phone comes in. You think the first phone was bad. No, it's because now you are trapped to the psychology and the emotional part that you are left behind. Instead of me, now this is iPhone 12. If it can do me the basics, what is the need of rushing to 16, 20? I record a lot of things. So people buy, it's because now that tendency came in. Now most cars are making, I think, lower substandard things. Any car, when you compare to 10 years or 8 years, 10 years generation, always the previous was tougher than the current because they want parts to go on their business. They want to sell you the parts. They want it to break down. Most cars don't want to last long. And then now our agents of changing daily basis like phones, people have a lot of disposable income now. That's why able to change things. But for them now, they know the game. If they build something tough, who's going to buy the next thing?
Okay,
no one.
And that drives me to my question. I think there is that old Mercedes-Benz that I think the originality is the key issue. And there is this modern Mercedes, let's talk about GLE, that most young men hang around with. Do you want to tell me that that investor that believes in the old Mercedes-Benz that will convince you it is about the originality and not the modification? Do you feel that when that investor retains the old Mercedes-Benz will have failed?
Another business?
No, will have failed in business because he has not improvised to the standards of the modern customers. Because when you see those drivers hanging around the old, they're old people, I think.
People, yeah.
Do you believe that he will fail in the coming years? Okay,
if they stay with the old, yes?
Yeah.
No, it depends. If the old people are liking, they're enjoying, it's fine. But now, they're also in business. They're also business of psychology and whatever I told you. They know that people buy emotionally. You know, for the Mercedes-Benz and other cars, Toyota is for ordinary people and it's every day, A point A to C. But like the brand you're talking, which brand is? The Mercedes is a luxury car. It's a status car. You know, they have to upgrade automatically if they can't just stay long because the current version comes in, there are people who are willing to pay a lot of money. Then to say that I'm driving, and people from Western, I know in Kenya, the Luos and other things, I'm sorry to say here, I'm driving Mercedes-Benz. That is like a status. He's not given a girl if he doesn't have a Mercedes-Benz. If he's not a professor and if he's not having Mercedes, he cannot go back at home and marry a girl. That's our way I had. I don't know if it's a joke. Even if he's going to take a loan, he has to go in the village with those cars. Maybe you'll comment us down there. So I think the company depends, the way you're asking me. If they're playing the psychology game and they understand consumers' behavior is changing, a lot of changing on the ground, I think to consider those factors and the emotionability of your customers and the current generation, which are quick, they want to change things fast because TikTok is fast. Anything is, we want to consume things fast. Now even a clip of 2 minutes, people don't want to watch. That's too much. 30 seconds even, they're thinking, how can it be 10 seconds? Unless it's interesting, yes?
Yeah, that's true.
Is there now that trend? Are you seeing it? Now our life, for example, if you are a consumer of TikTok, you can't tolerate long form things. It's like how is going this podcast? How long is going to finish? But those who are interested in learning a lot of things, who want to know you, who want to connect with you, will listen to the long form content. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Now, but the young generation, they want fast. Even they want their life. Once they make money, they want small cars, flash, quick, and then within 2 years they want to change the same car. What for? Just because you want to see that status, you want to keep the status. They want to know that they're also testing different things. So those things, I think, it's not the way to go. Be simple, focus, and then people must focus on wealth building. You know, for all of us, we are going to get rich, one way or the other. But all of us, we are going to touch money. Yes, getting rich is a matter of time. Others get rich faster. There's the difference between rich and wealth. Wealth takes a long time. Richness is, if you want to make 1 million Kenyan shilling, let's assume you are in Kenya, it will take some other people, like, for example, if you are just a graduate, it will take you long. But with time, when you set up a business, you work, how long will it take it? A short time. Yes, you're getting rich. But to get wealth now is another issue, because those people who touch the first money, if they invest indirectly, they will be just living good life, standard good life. But now they can't go to become wealth. And wealth takes like 10, 20 years for you to earn a substantial real estate portfolio, businesses, and then a lot of sacrifice required and patience. With those two, patience and then the understanding your consumers, I think those two will lead you to win.
Okay. And let's say, like, okay, as we end up, live yourself currently as you are, Mr. Mohamed. Now, most people, when you walk around, most people say CEO is around, director is around. I want to take you like 8 years back. You remember the younger self of you.
Yeah.
I want you to advise yourself in that current state, not currently.
No, okay.
Yeah, you know the situation, how you are starting.
Yes.
I want you to advise yourself at the same time advising those entrepreneurs watching you outside
Who are behind, yes, who are coming up, yes. I will have advised myself, first I could have advised myself to have extreme patience. Those days I wanted things to be quick, to earn quickly, but I understood now business is a marathon. It takes a long time and endurance. Another thing, I could have, my younger one, if God could allowed me, I could have invested a lot in mentorships and learning quickly, because learning the trial and error, it takes a lot of time. So young version of me, I could have advised myself to look for the right mentors. Although I did it in my first stages when I ventured to fellow brothers who are in the same business of education, they really mentored me, but in a small scope. But 90% after God, I figured out myself. But I wish I had now those days a full mentor. It could have been, the time could have been shortened, because a mentor will give you the skills and anything you need, just an advice, and then he will keep you accountable. I think that is one. I think second, and then you're understanding your consumers and knowing that emotions is what sells. It's not a product that sells itself. It's the emotional part. Now I'm a master of those. I know how to sell emotions. I know how to, whenever even I'm penetrating someone in terms of ideas and anything, I don't talk about myself. I'll talk what the other person wants, how he feel. You know, once people feel they're high, they're now they're able to convince your idea. It's now also learned another book, How to Win. I think another thing is How to Win Friends and Influence. This is another book I think I could say has really saved me a lot. It taught me power of communication.
Okay.
Once you talk to people and you don't argue with them, then you'll have your way in terms of. So I could have advised myself to read more books. Yeah.
There is this question that I think it has been trending.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, at this time, I think you count yourself, you're successful, not you count yourself, you are successful.
Still, I'm humble, still, yes. Okay. I'm going on, I'm a student of
someone walks in and tells you, Mr. Mohamed, you have two options. I want to give you $1 million, or you get the opportunity of going back to when you were around 17 years to start afresh. With this knowledge that you have, you start fresh 17 years when you are 17 years, or you decide to choose to take $1 million and continue with your life. Which one will you take?
Okay. what context? Okay, I have the money plus my business currently, or he's taking away my businesses.
You are starting afresh.
Okay.
Life starts from afresh. You
He's
don't have any business.
Okay.
That's why 17 years. You don't even have an
no.
ID.
Okay.
Yeah. You're still a child. So you only have the knowledge,
Okay.
but not the wealth. Only the knowledge. You start afresh, or you take this $1 million. Which one?
And
will
then you
choose?
quit business. Yes, you just disappear, or
No,
what?
you
give
the,
me two
with the
options.
knowledge.
Okay.
You go back 17 years ago. You see the knowledge that you used to start the businesses. Now you
have a
get
lot.
the chance
Okay.
to start again when you are 17 years. Because
Okay.
I don't believe if the business you started it when you are 17
No,
years.
even I was older.
Now you get the chance to start 17 years. Or without the businesses, you get a chance. You are given you are given $1 million. Which one will you choose?
I think if I'm given back to go back, I think if I will take that one. Yes, it's because assuming that I have all the knowledge. Yes.
Yeah.
Between money and my knowledge. Yes. One is you have a knowledge and you have all the skills. Chances are high. Even the same amount of money he has, if he gives away someone else, I may follow up and then partner with them. Once you're smart here and you meet someone who has money, the smart person will end up with the money because you're able to have the articulation, the convincing. As long as God has given me the talent, chances are high I will make it even half the. It took me 8 to 9 years. Yes, now I may make it less than 2 to 3 years because I'm able to build. Now I do have the skills of content creation, communication, selling skills, marketing skills, all these things. If I'm left to have it, and then money I'll leave it. I'll know
you will leave $1 million?
Yes, I'll live on the table and make it 2 to 3 times or 10 times of that. It's because if God gives you the time, because you're having time now, and then you have the knowledge, and then how many people have money? Once you also understand this game of business, it's not a Lone Ranger game. It's a game in which you should need investors, you should need a lot of other players. Yes, once you know how to connect and you have your network, it's easy to build. As long as my idea is there, I'm healthy, and I know a lot of people. And then there's this money. I leave the money, but I do have connection and other things. Chances are high I will make it because the connection will give me the right way of restarting again afresh, building at a shorter time with Impactful. I will start maybe service-based businesses. Yes, it's because it wouldn't require me a lot of capital. From there, I build my base going up and down, and then products, other things, services. Before you know it, I'll be making, because I think business is our business, and I thank God. After all, success lies with God. If God allows, I'll stand with my legs immediately within half of the time and make that money 2 or 3 times.
I think I need your courage in life.
Yeah, thank you.
You are on another level with courage.
Yeah.
It means like, let's say like you are given food there and someone's tell you which is a favorite meal?
Okay, what is my favorite meal? I like okay, what's it called? French Bugatti, the bread.
Okay.
I like the long form bread, not the bread we sell, the sliced one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Okay. Let's say like someone brings you to the table, ready-made, and let's say like maybe you know how to prepare the meal, and someone offers you the ready-made food, and it tells you it's either you choose this one, ready-made, you eat, or you go back to the kitchen. So you are ready to go back to the kitchen and prepare yourself.
Prepare very fast, because I may prepare a bigger dish, better things. That's how life is. Sometimes you go back, you may get 10 times of that, or you may lose it, either way. But now time is on your side, which is good. 17 years, what am I losing? By the time I'm 35, 17 to 34 years, you can struggle 3 times, 2 times, and then once you hit one check, 10 million, 20 million, you're there. And the person who offered you that, you'll go and give him a change.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think our president, you have the right economic advisor. You can do great at that position.
Inshallah. I'm just coming up a little bit. I'm humble, but inshallah, I want to be a star.
Okay.
Maybe the next 5 to 10 years, inshallah. But I'm building myself. I'm building my brand. Inshallah.
So maybe the final word to the viewers, the investors watching you, the upcoming entrepreneurs, one final word to them.
First is value. You focus on your value, because you craft your craftsmanship, you look your business well. Second thing is you focus on consumer psychology, in which you sell your products. I think those two, you can reach far. And with those, I think I could say we have to focus on how to sell and then how to give value, a massive value for a business to stand out.
Okay, thank you so much. It has been a great conversation between I and Mr. Is it Mr. Mohamed and
Mr. Mohamed, aka Ayanle. Yeah.
Yeah, about failure and success in businesses. Some of the aspects that most entrepreneurs and business people undergo. Most lose hope, most bounce back again in the game, and they end up being much more successful than they were before. So I think we have nothing else to add until the next episode of our podcast. So bye-bye.
Bye. See you again.